Welcome, students and parents. This is Morgan Champion. I'm a school counselor with Florida Virtual School, and I have the privilege of being with Rachel. She's one of my really good friends. She's actually pursuing a degree in communications with an emphasis in journalism and a minor in advertising. And Rachel had the unique opportunity to live in a dorm during her college experience, so I just wanted to ask her a few questions about that. Welcome, Rachel. We're glad to have you. All right, so I just want to ask Rachel, what is it like to live in a dorm? What are some of the things that incoming freshmen can expect?
While living in a dorm, you obviously have a really good opportunity to meet a lot of people. And my experience, I lived in 2 different dorms, so I can easily compare and contrast both of them. The first one I lived in was smaller, and I had 2 roommates, and it was a room made for probably 1 person, so it was a little bit difficult at first, but you know, if you have like the right communication skills to make it easy, then you can definitely do it. I mean, you don't have to be in the room the entire time, and I mean, I guess it just depends on, you know, if you have friends that you want to be roommates with, or if you get mixed with somebody. It just depends on, you know, how good your friendship is with the person that you're with to make it a really good experience. And I happen to be really close with all of my roommates, so as for like the furniture and everything, it was pretty cramped the first year that I lived in a dorm, but then I moved to another dorm and it was really spacious. It was actually a lot like an apartment, which I really liked because there was a lot more space, and you know, there were just 2 of us at that point, so it just, like, I just felt like we had a little bit more privacy to ourselves, and we didn't have to be it didn't seem like we were with each other all the time.
All right, Rachel, that's great. So it kind of sounds like you were able to have 2 really different experiences living with 3 people as opposed to living with 2 people. In the dorm, were you able to do your laundry on site there? Did they have laundry facilities for you to use? And also tell us about the food situation. Was there a cafeteria or something like that?
Well, first of all, the laundry, there was a laundry room on site. I never used that because I was too lazy, but then with the food, my dorm the first year was basically in the same building as my dorm, so I mean, we would just walk down in our pajamas to eat. And I mean, a lot of people would, I guess, complain about a lot of the packages that you can get when you get a dorm, because a lot of times you have to eat the food or you have to pay for the meal plan when you get a dorm room. But they also give you, like my experience is they gave you points so that you could go to like the cafe that was on campus, so it had better food and like fresh fruit and stuff that you could go buy to take back to your dorm, which is also I guess that's better than having to go to the grocery store or something, especially when you only have a really small refrigerator. It was just easy to just walk over there. If they have like a small grocery store on campus, that's always really good.
I see. So it definitely sounds like there's some different options for students, but colleges make it pretty convenient for students who stay on campus to have the resources they need that are readily available. So now we're going to talk about some advantages of living in a dorm, and there's definitely some that are listed up here. It's obviously you're going to be close to campus and parking is available. Rachel, what would you say was the biggest advantage for you living on campus as a freshman?
Well, I would probably wake up 30 minutes before my class started, maybe 15, and just walk to class because it was that close. If it was raining, we didn't even have to walk outside. So that's definitely one of the biggest advantages for me. But I also like being so close to all of my friends, because when I was a freshman, I didn't have very many upperclassmen friends, so it was really convenient because they kind of force you to live. I mean, they don't force you, but it's kind of part of my college's plan that when you're a freshman you should live in the dorm so that you can meet people, and I think that's a really good thing. I think a lot of colleges do that, or at least give you the option to live in a dorm or an apartment on campus. And so that just makes it really easy to meet people and be close to your friends. Like, you don't have to walk very far, or you're at least on campus so that you can be in social situations and around the campus when there are campus activities going on. So it just makes it pretty easy to have a social life, I think.
All right, well, that's a very important thing about going to college, is meeting new people and expanding your mindset and everything like that. So living in a dorm sounds like you're just really enmeshed in the culture of the school, so that sounds really positive. With every living situation, there are definitely disadvantages. Rachel, what would you say is the biggest disadvantage to living in a dorm? There's obviously smaller living quarters, and you may or may not like your roommate. What would you say you found to be the biggest disadvantage?
I would definitely say that I have a personal problem with having enough space. So having two roommates living in a really small, confined space was really difficult for me. But a lot of colleges have options, you know, if you want to live with one person versus 4 people, or if you don't want to live with anybody, you know, you're still going to be around a lot of people, even if you do choose to live by yourself. Unfortunately, at my college, that wasn't really an option to live by yourself the first year because they just had so many accepted students. But and then another thing is, I don't know if it's just in my situation, but my room was just so small that it was just so overcrowded. We could barely walk to the bathroom because there was just, I mean, probably, I would say 15 pieces of furniture in a really, really small room. So it just depends on, I guess, the dorm environment. I know most colleges, at least in Florida, have really, really good dorm environment. They make it spacious, or spacious enough that you can have your own privacy, like you have your desk and you're not up in everybody's business all the time. But I would definitely say, like, the room situation, space, that's my biggest thing, because that's something that's personal to me anyway. So
I see. Well, I'm sure that that would be a struggle for a lot of incoming freshmen, especially if they're coming from a home where they have their own room and their own space and definitely their own storage area. That could be a challenge for sure. We just wanted to put up some information about how you can find out what is right for you. As Rachel said, her college had kind of planned out to have freshmen stay on campus, which is sometimes the case in smaller schools, but it can be in larger schools as well. We want to encourage everyone to visit your college campus housing office. They can give you a lot of information on the dorm situation, how much the payment plans would be, and as Rachel mentioned too, a lot of dorms come with meal plans as well, so you can just kind of pay that when you're paying for your dorm fees. So it's really important to decide what you feel is right for you and what you want your college experience to be like. So I think Rachel gave us a really good idea of kind of what her experience was like in college, and I just want to say a thank you to her for being here, and I learned a lot. Rachel, thank you so much.
Thank you, Morgan.